Laundry with Jess.
Starring Jesse Willey.
Today I'm going to do something a lot of people know how to do. But not a lot of people know how to do well. According to surveys, laundry is most people's least favorite chore. Even me. I hate it not because it's hard, but because I live in a house with two other people and a dog who isn't potty trained, so it's literal warfare to get to the laundry machine. And why am I doing laundry, you ask? I don't have any clean clothes left. No, seriously. I know you guys want to see more adventures of me in the kitchen. Cooking with Jess was an unabashed success, with 10 views at the time of this recording. For me, that's a hit. But I have no idea why. Taking cooking lessons from me is a bit like logging into the Great Courses Plus and taking lessons on how to sit in a chair taught by Jonathan Frakes. Anyway, our first attempt of taking the pilot of the series went a little off the rails. Our insurance company will no longer cover my activities in the kitchen. The State of Maryland Disaster Relief Fund said they would issue me no further grants. But hey, they said I couldn't cook anything ever again. That still leaves hundreds of everyday activities that I'm still allowed to do. Which left us with two options on how to continue the series. Cooking with Jess could become Cooking with Senator Eduardo, or we could go with Fill in the Blank with Jess, where I would try and maybe succeed at something new every month. Matt and I talked it over. It was a hard decision. We love working with Senator Eduardo. Great performer, great actor, and so very funny. Most of you don't know this, but he's a great chef. I remember back before COVID-19, Eduardo invited us over to his house and he made the world's greatest beef bouillon with ketchup. The best I've ever had. There's a reason we don't put Senator Eduardo in every video we make. He's not the cheapest star in the world to hire. He was hired as a cooking safety consultant on Cooking with Jess. If you look closely, you'll see him and one of his buddies taking a nap after getting plastered. We recorded that right after lunch. And me, I work for free. If you think I should be getting paid, go to patreon.com/Parody Error Films and become a patron. So, now that we're done airing the show's dirty laundry, it's time to get to the dirty laundry. The first thing you're going to need to do is find your laundry basket. I don't have to do that because I did it beforehand. Or rather, I had some unpaid, uncredited, unthanked, nameless intern do it for me because I'm much too lazy to do it myself. Isn't that right, Danny? The next thing you do is go down the hall and gather up your laundry. I'm not gonna show you my room because I haven't cleaned it since, how long ago was George W. Bush president? 2007, I think. Youch. Anyway, you gather up all the dirty clothes you're gonna wash. If you're like me, you separate your whites from your colors. No, I'm not a laundry racist. You don't have to do this, it's just I like putting my dirty clothes into the washing machine and having them just get clean. Not having them come out looking totally different. The reason you separate your colors from your whites is that you risk leaking colors from a scarf or a hat or something and having them get onto your white clothing. That happened to me once a long time ago. Back then, my family wasn't so well off, so I just had to put up with pink socks and underwear for about a month until they fell apart. Yeah, the same thing happened on an episode of The Simpsons back when they had real world problems, which, let's face it, was before about 90% of people watching YouTube were even born. But here's the thing, if you want pink underwear, you can buy pink underwear. That's totally a thing you can get. I'm not judging. But no one wants to buy a pair of tidy whities and have them turn pink. There is another reason. Whites tend to be things like socks and underwear, which are more likely to require the delicate or even ultra delicate setting if your machine has it. You'll notice, for the purposes of this video, I'm doing my colors, and there's a reason for that. It's simple. As puritanical as YouTube is, unless you're being sponsored by a briefs manufacturer, you can't show underwear in a video. Another thing you gotta do is make sure if you have a t-shirt with a special effect on it to be very careful with it. Take Matt here. See that puff effect on his Untitled Goose Game shirt? It looks cool, so he wants to keep that visible for as long as possible. The best way to do that is to turn it inside out. There are a bunch of other special steps to keep that effect going months after he got the shirt, but you can read the tag for that. I had a glow-in-the-dark shirt. Not one of those ones that uses the normal glow-in-the-dark stuff. This one used some sort of bioluminescent substance. I'm glad I didn't wash that shirt correctly. Not because the effect was bad. Far from it, it was awesome! But I'm one of the small percentage of the population that is allergic to the substance in the coral it derived from. I couldn't wear the shirt without breaking into hives. As a glow-in-the-dark shirt, it was the coolest thing ever. It just sort of failed as a shirt until I washed the stuff out of it. Now that you're down to the laundry room, make sure both the washer and dryer are empty, and woohoo! They are! Now we can load up the machine. And now you add your detergent. There's two ways to do this. You can take a bottle of detergent, fill a cap full, and pour it all over your clothes. But then you risk your hand getting covered, and it's all sticky and gross, and you have to wash your hands off. I hate that feeling, so I'm gonna use a Tide Pod. Because I'm lazy. And hey, what do you know? It's the first YouTube video ever where it's not a snack item. Once the clothes are in the drum and you have your detergent in there, be sure to check the settings to make sure your washing machine is set the way it needs to be for your clothes. For this particular load, that should be medium load, temperature at warm, and cycle level set to delicate. Funny story. The first time I did my own laundry, I must have been about 15? I didn't know about all that. To make things worse, the person who had been doing laundry before me had been washing a blanket. So it was set on cold and heavy clean. The end result for my clothes was, well, Have you ever seen Raiders of the Lost Ark? Do you remember what happened to Tote and his men when they looked into the Ark of the Covenant? The same thing happened to my clothes. They were torn to atoms. On the plus side, I got a new MST3K t-shirt out of it. No, this isn't some episode of Did I Get What I Paid For where we're watching my laundry. Because totally not worth it. Seriously, the wash cycle takes about an hour. And most people can just hear the buzzer go off. Me, I'm hearing impaired. But I've come up with a rather simple solution to that problem. I've reserved Sunday nights as my usual night to do my laundry. For a rather stupid reason. The laundry cycle takes about an hour. So, if I put my laundry in the washing machine a few minutes before The Simpsons starts, I know that when Bob's Burgers is about to come on at 9 o'clock, it's time to take my wet clothes out of the washing machine and put them in the dryer. We're not taping this on Sunday night, so we're just gonna have to watch something else. So, hour-long show. The wet clothes should be ready to go into the dryer. Simple as that. Well, no. On my dryer, I have two options. Timed dry, which will run for about 70 minutes, but often requires 2 to 3 times through the dry cycle. The other, extra dry, is a little longer, and it doesn't usually take 3 times through, but often has a few minor hiccups. It is not as good on things like sweatshirts or sweaters, so we're going to use the normal settings. Before we start, we gotta go to this spot here. The lint trap. You gotta make sure that's clean. One time, and again, you're gonna think I'm making this up, my dad didn't clean the lint trap. I didn't check it either. So I go to check the load a second time, and it is barely any drier than when it went in. I pulled it open, and not only does the lint trap have more hair than an 80s rock band, but there was steam billowing out of the thing, which did wonders for my pores. Once that's done, chances are your clothes aren't going to be dry yet. They'll probably need a little bit more time. You just go to that same handle, turn it back the amount of time you think it needs, and let it go. Wait, no. You're gonna want to clean the lint trap first. You want to make sure that it's not gonna go Bigfoot's armpits on us. You don't want any steam or anything like that. Or sparks. Did I forget to mention that? We used to have this wash machine, and, well, it sort of caught fire. And by sorta, I mean most washing machines and dryers have a safety mechanism that kicks in for just that sort of thing. And we tripped it. Or rather, we fried the motor. In either case, I didn't die, so I count that as a win! For simplicity's sake, I'm going to assume you're more competent at things than I am. If you repeat this process of checking on your clothes, adjusting the timer, and cleaning the lint trap, you'll get it right eventually. Your clothes will be nice and dry. I have faith in you. Until next time, remember, no matter how bad you think you are at something, it could be worse. You could be Jess. If you liked this video, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Oh yeah, and you can do do the Patreon thing I mentioned earlier.